morning, dear students. So let us now continue with the lesson Food for All. In the previous video, we have studied about the agriculture, and in that we have studied the points such as agricultural seasons, agricultural work, traditional agriculture, etc. Yeah, and I hope you all have understood that. Now let us move on to the further point, that is improved methods of agriculture. We all know that we all are learning certain new things every day, yes, and that new things we inculcate or we follow that new things or use that new thing in our life, yeah, and then we can see we have certain changes in our life, we have little bit improved life, yeah. In the same way, students, whatever agriculture what our grandparents, their grandparents have done, and what nowadays the agriculture is done, the way of doing it is different, yeah. You can see some change in it. It is called as a improved methods of agriculture. So how have this method improved? What brought improvement in it? That we are going to study. So the first thing, that is, nowadays there is use of improved seeds. Okay, so see children, what was done earlier? Earlier it was customary to preserve the seeds. Means customary means it was like a custom, yeah, that the seeds whatever are brought from that little seeds should be preserved, means little seeds should be saved, and that seeds or that preserved seed should be used next season, and then the harvest was done using those preserved seeds. And as these seeds were old, or we can say preserved seeds, they did not give higher yield. Yield means you can see in this picture, lot of crop have grown and very nicely the crop has grown, but as the seeds were used of preserved seeds, they did not give higher yield, means like these crops they didn't get. So students, nowadays what is done, improved seeds are used. What are improved seeds? Means the best quality seeds. Okay, how we got these seeds? These seeds are developed through research. So scientists have made the research and brought the development in seeds, and because of that nowadays we are having improved seeds which are used for agriculture. So they are available in the market for every crop such as jowar, bajra, rice, groundnut, etc. And nowadays these seeds are used for agriculture, and as these seeds are used for agriculture, farmer gets a higher yield, means good production. Let us now study the advantages of these seeds. What the first, that is, they can resist pest attacks. Means you all know that on the crops different worms, insects sit and destroy the plant or the crop by eating it, yeah. So these seeds have that power to resist this pest attack. Okay, now the second thing or the second advantage is that from these seeds there are some varieties which become ripe, means which cultivate quickly and for harvesting in a shorter period of time, means they grow quickly, they don't require too much time, they grow in shorter period of time for harvesting. And third advantage is that they give higher yield even with a low water supply, means if water quantity is less, then too some of the seeds give higher yield. So these are the three advantages of the improved seeds. So now after studying about the improved seed, let us study now the next method which have improved the method of agriculture, and that method is modern methods of irrigation. Now what is irrigation? Irrigation means the process of supplying water to the crops. Now we all know that crops get water because of the rain, yes or no? And when the crops get proper water, they grow properly. or nicely. Means crops grow well if they are watered at the right time and with the right proportion. So we all know that rain is the main source of water. In addition to it, water from rivers, lakes and wells is also used for irrigation. Means the water from the lakes, water from the rivers is also used for watering the crops. Now what is done extra to store the water? Greater quantities of water are stored by building the dams or by building the bunds. Okay, means you can see bunds are built, dams you know now. Yes, you are familiar with it. So the dams or the bunds are built on the river. And why are they built? To obstruct the flow of water. Means we all know that water is flowing continuously. To stop that flow of water, bunds or dams are built. And when these dams or bunds are built, water stops flowing and greater quantity of water is stored. And when this quantity of water is stored, students, this helps to rise the level of groundwater. You can see in this picture the water is stopped or it is obstructed, the flow is obstructed, and because of this the level of groundwater increases because the water seeps into the ground, means it percolates, it goes into the ground, and thus level of groundwater increases. So this is how we get the water. Now let's see how the crops are watered. Earlier the crops were watered through canals. Means in traditional agriculture the crops were mainly watered by canals. So here you can see the water is obstructed or stopped. Yeah, that is called as a canal. And you can see the pipelines are there which are passed into the field in this way. Yes or no? And we can also see this is here the water is obstructed. These are the canals. Now what is done? This water is provided to the field. And the crops are grown. This was the traditional way. But this is having certain disadvantage. What is that, students? That is the water from this canal, much water from this canal is lost due to evaporation. Evaporation means, you know, when we have heat or if the weather is hot, water starts evaporating, means this liquid water converts into gas. Yeah, and you can see water here is open, it is exposed. So it is exposed to the sun, means it will start evaporating. And as it evaporates, water level from these canals reduces. Also, much of the water seeps into the ground, means it percolates into the ground, and thus the quantity of water from the canals reduces. Yeah, so this is the advantages of canals. So new methods or certain improved methods of irrigation were introduced, and these methods provide enough water to the plants, and also they help to save lot of water. Then which are these methods? There are two modern methods. They are drip irrigation. So you can see this picture is explaining you drip irrigation. Means you can see it clearly here. Yes. So this is drip irrigation, and other is sprinkle irrigation. You can see here. So drip irrigation and sprinkle irrigation are two modern methods of irrigation. Okay. So now we have learned the two modern methods of irrigation. And what are its advantages, children? They provide enough water to the plant, and also they save lot of water. Okay. So now let us study what is drip irrigation. Okay. So the drip irrigation method makes use of pipes with holes. So here you can see on the ground the pipes are fitted, yes, and these pipes are having holes. Here you can see it clearly. This ensures that the required amount of water drips only near the plants. So these holes take care that only what required amount of water will drip near that plant or the crop. And thus students, we can make full use of available water. Okay. Next method of irrigation, that is sprinkle irrigation. It makes use of sprinklers. You can see the sprinklers are made stand on the land here like this. Yeah. So this sprinkle irrigation makes use of sprinklers of different sizes and they spray water directly on the plants. Okay. So did you understand about sprinkle irrigation and drip irrigation? Yes. Now let's move on further. Let us now answer the questions from page number 59. Find out. There are 3 questions. Let us answer those 3 questions. Names of 2 varieties of improved seeds of jawar. So students, the 2 varieties of improved seeds of jawar are, you can see them in the picture. The first one is Vasant and the second one is Swati. So the next question is, you can write the answer with pencil in your textbook, okay? Who helped the farmer to drive the moat? The farmers take the help of the pair of oxen to drive the moat, okay? Next, third question, how is groundwater lifted these days? Means what are we doing these days to lift or to remove the groundwater? So tube wells or bore wells are dug to lift the water from the ground. Okay. So you can write these answers in your textbook with pencil. Let us now learn about the next method which brought improvement in the method of agriculture, that is fertilizers. So let us study about it. So children, when same crop is grown frequently in the field, means same crop, for example, if rice is grown this year, next year also rice, and like this 5-6 years continuously, if we grow the same crop in the same field, then the fertility of the soil decreases. Fertility means what? Productivity or productiveness, whatever yield we should get, that goes on becoming less and less. So what can we do in this situation? Then we see here in this diagram, you can see that the nutrients whatever the plant require, they are becoming less because same crop is grown again and again. Okay, so to regain these nutrients, then we have to add fertilizers to the soil to restore its productivity. What we have to do? We have to add fertilizers. Why we have to add the fertilizers? Because its productivity has become less. To restore that productivity, we have to add fertilizers. So the fertilizers provide, whatever you can see in this picture, man or a farmer, we can say, he is standing, and what is that? He is standing with the fertilizer. He is spreading that fertilizers because the fertilizers provide the nutritive substances to the crop. Whatever is less, whatever nutrition has become less, that nutrients is given back by the fertilizers. So here are the different fertilizers. So children, in all there are 2 kinds of fertilizer. Okay, fertilizers are classified into 2 types. They are natural fertilizers and chemical fertilizers. Okay, so again we have learned something new, that is fertilizer. Fertilizer means it is one of the substance which is added to the soil to regain or to restore its productivity. And to which soil it is added, students? To the soil which has lost its fertility. Okay, so there are two types of fertilizer: natural fertilizers and chemical fertilizers. So natural fertilizer are the fertilizers which are used traditionally. Now see, let's study first about the natural fertilizer. Natural fertilizers are also called manure. Yeah, so they are obtained from materials available in nature. Yeah, so they are called as a natural fertilizer. For example, green waste and the animal dung means whatever green, that is green waste means green leftover. For example, rotting leaves. Okay, then stubble means stubble of some plants. These are called as a green waste. Animal dung means cattle dung, human excreta. Okay, these are the animal dung. From this, the whatever is obtained from this material, that is called as a natural fertilizers. Okay, also cow dung manure. Cow dung, you know, the cow dung means the waste or the excreta of animals. Yeah, that is collected and it is dried, and then that is used as a cow dung manure. Next, droppings of goats and sheep. This is the best fertilizer, okay, which we can nowadays also you can use in your surrounding, whatever plants and all you have planted. If the soil has lost its fertility, if you have goats and sheep, you can use their droppings as a fertilizer. Green manure and compost, all these are the types of natural fertilizers. Okay, now this was used in traditional agriculture. Yeah, such this all compost, green manure, droppings of goats and sheep, cow dung manure, all these were used in traditional agriculture. Only the thing is that these fertilizers require long time and to fertile the land. Okay, and thus the productivity would take long time to do the production. Okay, so now we are using mostly the next type, that is the chemical fertilizer. This is also used, natural fertilizers are also used by the farmers. Even we can also use at our home, whatever remains are there. Now when you bring leafy vegetables, it sticks. Coriander stem is there, leafy vegetable stem is there, seeds of the fruits, whatever are there, whatever green waste you get in the kitchen, you can, instead of throwing it in the dustbin, you can throw it under the trees, so that manure can be formed out of it and the land around your house will get the fertilizers. Okay, now we'll study the next type of fertilizer, that is chemical fertilizers. So chemical fertilizers are also called as artificial fertilizers. They are mixtures of different chemical substances. So here you can see on the screen urea, sulfur phosphate, like this two chemicals are shown. Yeah, these are the chemical fertilizer. So in chemical fertilizer, students, different chemicals are used, but their proportion is fixed. In different chemicals in specific proportions are used. Proportion means quantity. For example, when you prepare tea, then you require tea powder, sugar, water. Proportion is there. Yeah, sugar you put in little extra quantity than the tea powder. Yeah, then water is more than both of them. So this is called as a proportion. Yeah, so different chemicals are used and their specific proportion is there, and then these chemical fertilizers are used for agriculture. Did you understand? So here you can see the farmer is spreading the chemical fertilizer. So chemical fertilizer came to be used for quicker growth and higher yield. Yes, by chemical fertilizer we got quicker growth of the crops, and because of that we got higher, or the farmer gets the higher yield, higher productivity. Now as it has advantages, it also has disadvantages, students. So let us now study the disadvantages of chemical fertilizer. So see here the harmful effects, okay, the harmful effects of the use of these fertilizers are also there. What are those? When you make overuse of chemical fertilizer, it leads to accumulation of excessive chemicals in the soil. So here you can see the farmer is spreading the chemical fertilizer. The crops, on the crops it has gathered. You can see in its container brown color. The earlier the crops are green, yes, but after spreading the fertilizers you can see they have become brown, means chemical fertilizers have gathered on it. Soon that chemical fertilizers will go down in the soil, and then they are going in the soil and accumulating there. Accumulating means collecting. Excessive chemicals in the soil is also danger. It's not good. Excessive means extra. So here we have seen the disadvantage of overuse of fertilizer. Yes. Now let's see the next point, that is overwatering makes the land saline and fallow. Saline means we all know that water contains salt in it. Yes. So when you overwater the plants, the salt from the water is percolating in the land and making it saline. Fallow means it becomes of no use. So overwatering also makes the land saline and fallow. Now this may harm the productivity. Okay, farmer may be at risk. So where is such condition seen? This is seen especially in the parts where water is available in plenty. For example, near you can say near the dams or on river banks. Yes, there you can see such kind of problem. Overwatering makes the land saline and fallow. Next, here you can see the land, yes, where there is a overuse of water. Now if land becomes saline and fallow, it has to be tested to find out which substance lacks in it. Yeah, now this you and I can't do. For this we have to call an expert. Yes, so experts will examine what is lacking in that soil or in that land, which substance is lacking in that soil. So we can get that fertility back again by adding those substances. Okay, so the soil whichever has become saline and fallow has to be checked by the experts. That land should be tested. You can see in this picture the expert is testing that sand or that you can say land, soil, and he will come to know which substance is lacking, and then he can restore its fertility by adding those substances which are less. See, but students, it is costly and very time consuming procedure. Costly means you all know. Time consuming means it requires long time, yes, to gain that substance again. So as it takes time, what we have to do? It is better to avoid excess use of fertilizers and also use of water. Okay, because if we make proper use of fertilizer and proper use of water, then the soil or the land will not be harmed. Yes, so what to do and how to get good soil and good productivity we have learned. We should make use of improved seeds. We can make use of modern methods of irrigation, and we have to make proper use of fertilizers and water. Means we have to avoid excessive use of fertilizers and water. Okay, so this is what we have learned in this video. So the homework for you all is to read the page number 59 and page number 60 only whatever is taught, that much content from page number 60 and 59 you have to read. In the next lesson we will continue with the further part.